Literally on a daily basis, people write to me and they tell me that I need to get out of the state of California. Is it time for me to leave California? Is it time to pack up and get out of this state? It's Sunday, October 20th, 2019. So many of you continue to tell me that I need to get out of the state of California, and unfortunately, I have to agree with you. It's sad looking at what has transpired here in this once beautiful state. Growing up in Chicago, coming out here visiting my grandfather and grandmother, smelling the orange groves in Orange County, coming out to Palm Springs, just an incredible time to be a part of California, finishing high school in California. Back in the day, it was just a wonderful time. And over the near 30 years that I've lived in California, I've seen a lot happening here. The state has really, really gone downhill. And, you know, the state of California is so reliant on taxation, state tax, sales tax. It's reliant on the housing market. It's reliant on the stock market. But it's been so reliant on the housing market, and we know that this housing bubble is going to blow up, and when it does, California is going to be one of the states that gets hurt the most. And again, it's so reliant on taxation and the housing bubble. And I've watched the state, once such a beautiful state, it is now polluted. It's been invaded by people from all over the world that are here that should not be here. I have to be very careful what I say, but many millions of people in this state that should not be in this country. We look at some of the things that have been happening over the last couple years. 2018, the wildfires, 875,000 acres burned, thousands of homes went with that. And it cost the state of California $400 billion in damage. Another big problem besides fires here, and of course, PG&E, our electrical grid, obviously in enormous trouble that now we have to shut off power on windy days because we're so worried about fires. So, you know, we have a grid problem here. We have a fire problem here. Another big problem we have here in California is homelessness. 80,000 people homeless just in LA County. Here in Riverside County, I don't have the number, but it's in the thousands. Homeless people everywhere in Riverside County, Orange County, San Diego County, LA County. You look at the Bay Area, the amount of homelessness, I think 25, 30,000 people up there in San Francisco homeless. Drug epidemic taking place there. We have a massive drug epidemic here in California. Government pension costs are rising faster than in any other state right here in California. People are leaving this state in droves, yet you wouldn't be able to tell because the freeways are bumper to bumper. And as many people are leaving, we're talking about people that are employed, they're educated, they're leaving and going to other states, while we have people from other parts of the world coming here, again, that shouldn't be here. I have to be very careful what I say. But so we're getting a lot of uneducated type people with no skill, living off the dole here in California, living off government subsidies, state subsidies, and I'm watching more garbage pile up along the freeways. I look at an infrastructure. I look at the freeways, many of them just falling apart. I look at parts of Los Angeles, looks like a Zimbabwe or a third world country. It just doesn't even look like America any longer. And to see this once great state, this one of the most beautiful states in the entire country, at one time one of the most conservative also, just going off the rails. Money being completely wasted. We have a governor here now with these gun laws, opening the door to more invasions. And the taxpayer is absolutely getting absolutely devastated here in California, taking care of people that shouldn't even be here when we have so many problems that need to be addressed. And this state is just chasing a business out of it. And so, you know, if I didn't have family here, if I didn't have a business here, it would be much easier to just get up, pack up, and go. But eventually, I have a serious decision to make. How much longer am I going to be able to survive in this state with these laws, with the taxation, the high price of real estate? This massive real estate bubble that we have here in California is unlike any. And people are just getting tapped out. And this is why we're seeing so many people leaving. This is why we're seeing so much business leaving and going to other states, because of the taxation, the real estate bubble, and really the hatred for really good people that have something to offer. It seems like Gavin Newsom and the state of California hates people that have something to offer this state, hates that people want freedom. They just hate that. They despise it. And they want to bring people, continue to bring people in from all over the world that have nothing to offer. These people, again, uneducated, low skills, and California at some point is not going to survive when it turns into a third world country itself. So I'm going to be checking out Arizona this week. I've been there many times, but I will be working out in Arizona this week. And as I'm there, I will be seriously checking out Arizona as a prospect for my future residence, my future place to live. Many of you probably know I was in Texas in the spring, early summer this past year. And I really enjoyed Texas, really loved Texas. I've been to Arizona many times. I've loved Arizona. I've always had a great time there, but I'm going to seriously be looking at Arizona this week as a potential future place of residence. Now, it's nothing that I'm going to do immediately. It's not going to happen overnight, but I am now really looking at options of other places to live. And again, Texas was awesome. I'm going to take a look at Arizona this week. I know it's not perfect, but it is a much better place now than California. So I'm here in the liberal utopia where I'm witnessing $4 and $5 gas now here in the state of California because of taxation. So many states, in the $2 area, I would assume, I don't know until I get there, Arizona is probably somewhere in the $2. I know it is in Texas, but again, state taxes are going to continue to go up. They're not going away, as droves of people from all over the world are going to continue to come here, while people, the business owners, the educated, the people who are looking for capitalism, who are looking for freedom, they're getting out of California. The people and companies looking to get away from the regulation, they want real freedom. They're looking for capitalism, looking for low taxes. They're getting out of California. And so, for me, it's probably borrowed time. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think about Arizona, what you think about Texas, and what you think about other states, as I now will be heading to Arizona to look at that as a possibility now for my future residence. Let me know what you think. Let me know about where you're living. Is it a good place? Is it a bad place? I'd be very, very curious to know what each one of you think. Again, I grew up almost half my life in Chicago, Illinois, and now it is turned into a complete sewer. And it's only going to get worse. And now the same thing is happening right here in the beautiful state of California. So what's next? Right now, it's Arizona. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. So looking forward to this week, let's talk a little bit about what's going on. I'm sure we're going to hear more about the China-U.S. trade negotiations. Don't count on a life-changing deal with China and the U.S. The slowdown, one thing we have to realize is this global slowdown was taking place way before this China trade war. China is slowing down because it has massive debt. The U.S. is slowing down because it has massive debt. In fact, The US is slowing down because the consumer is getting tapped. We have massive debt, and the United States of America really doesn't make anything. Okay, our GDP is reliant on the service sector. We don't make anything. And so having massive amounts of debt, having the consumer beginning to tap out and not making anything, you are going to slow down. Now, I know we've been brainwashed to believe that everything is reliant on this deal with China, but nothing has really changed in my life since the tariffs were enacted, since this trade war started 22 months ago. Nothing's really changed in my life. I haven't really noticed it, maybe a little bit here and there. Most of you probably haven't noticed it. The farmers probably have noticed it. But it seems like the biggest effects were on Wall Street, in the stock market. These algorithms light up on fire the minute they're told that a meeting went well, or things look well, we're close to a deal. These markets go absolutely bananas on just the mere talk of these negotiations. And if things didn't go well, they went down. But at the end of the day, we didn't really get a deal. We actually have no deal at all, and the market really didn't even react. So it's really, really odd. So again, I don't think we're going to really ever see a real deal. I don't think China wants to do a deal, and don't plan on seeing a deal, at least for 2019. And is that really going to affect you? Probably not. Let's talk about what is going to affect you. And that's going to be this coming recession. Now, what's interesting is a lot of the media that I've seen is telling you and I that this recession is not going to be that bad. It won't be as bad as the one in 2008. And for some reason, they just know that because they have a crystal ball, and they're telling you and I that it's not going to be that bad. Don't worry. The media is telling us that they're actually assuring us that there isn't much to be concerned about. And when I hear stuff like this, you better be concerned. And you have to ask the question, who believes the media today? If they're telling you something, you probably better do the opposite. The truth is, the environment that the global economy operates within is far more unstable today than it was back in the 2008 financial crisis. And it wouldn't take much at all to push us into a complete, utter economic nightmare. We are literally within inches. We're an event away from something very, very big happening. And I had a very good friend call me today, and they told me, and look, these people, this person doesn't really follow the markets closely, just, an average person. But this person told me this. They said, JB, something bad is coming. Something is going to happen. It's going to be bad. And so people are now they can just feel it in their soul, in their bones, that something is coming. And so many of you, I read the comments down below, a lot of you know, we can look at the indicators. We can follow what these markets are doing. We know about all the money printing. We know about the propped up markets. But so many people just have a gut feeling in their soul that something is about to happen that, we've never felt like what we're feeling now. Articles are out there, again, in the media saying not all recessions are a crisis, so you don't have to worry. Don't prepare. The next one won't be as bad as 2008, so don't worry. Don't prepare. So they're basically just telling people, to jump in the water without a life jacket. It's going to be just fine. Some media says we're headed for a growth recession, not a recession where we will see millions of jobs lost like we did back in 2008. Again, these people just have all the answers. It's great to be optimistic, but reality keeps you alive. I'm not jumping in the water without a life jacket, and so many people are doing that right now, and they're going to end up in a very, very bad place for being so naive. Reality right now is telling us that something is very, very wrong. Whether you follow these markets, whether you understand about why we have such low rates, why the Fed is injecting money into the banking industry, why they're buying $60 billion a month of treasury bills, why everything's being propped up, why all this propaganda. The reality is, and you know it, that something is very, very wrong here. This economy is extremely vulnerable, and it is way overdue for a massive correction. And with all of this artificial injecting, and with all of this money printing, we're going to pay a severe price. And I truly believe this will be the worst economic collapse America has seen. We have not had a full year of 3% economic growth since the last recession. The Dow Jones is nearly twice as high as it was at the peak of the bubble that bust during the last financial crisis. Stock prices are absolutely overinflated, and at some point they will implode, ladies and gentlemen. Much of the growth in stock prices has been driven by corporations that are supposedly worth billions of dollars, but they don't actually make any profits. But again, this is no illusion. Nothing's rigged. There's no manipulation, right? But supposedly these corporations are worth billions of dollars, but they're making no profits. They have massive amounts of debt. They're buying their own stock. But yet, we're supposed to trust the system. Low rates, corporate buybacks, artificial injections, propaganda. The freak show is going to come to an end. And when it does, are you going to be prepared? Most of society is not equipped to handle what is coming. We are soft, we're lazy, we're overweight, we're self-obsessed, and we are dependent on this system that is going to implode. And when it does, what are these people going to do? And if you're one of these people, you better wake up and ask yourself, what are you going to do? Stop making excuses of why you can't save money or why you can't prepare. This is no time to make excuses. This is a time to buckle down and get prepared mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. When the system goes down, most people are going to have a major wake-up call, and it's going to be too late for those people. The wake-up call should be right now. This is your wake-up call. Don't wait till it happens, because it will be too late for you, and you are going to be living in a nightmare. 71% of all 17 to 24-year-olds in the U.S. do not even meet the most basic qualifications for military service. And here's why. They're obese. They lack a high school diploma or GED. They're a convicted felon. They're taking prescription drugs for ADHD. They have certain types of tattoos and ear gauges. So you better hope that things don't get bad in America, because this is the typical dumbed down American today. Many people don't have money. A lot of people make excuses to me that they don't have money. They can't save up and buy 1 ounce of silver. They can't buy a few ounces of silver. They can't buy security. But they have money for ear gauges and tattoos and mochas at Starbucks. They have enough money to buy, an ounce of weed. So, maybe you better take a real good look in the mirror and make some real serious changes in your life and come back to reality, okay? Because reality is telling you right now, I'm giving you a dose of reality. This is coming to your country. It's already begun. Nothing is going to stop it. The debt load is too massive. We have social, political, and economic uncertainty and unbalance right here in America, and nothing is going to stop what is coming. And this, I believe, must happen in order for us to get our country back, that things are going to get much worse before they get better. They're going to, at some point, people are going to have to wake up and fix this country. And if we don't, we're not going to have a country. And there continues to be a group of people out there that want to tell us everything's great. And you know the ones. And you should ask them this. Ask those same people why the Fed is expanding their balance sheet once again. It wasn't that long ago when the Fed was shrinking their balance sheet, and that didn't last very long. I believe it lasted about 4 or 5 months. Correct me if I'm wrong. It is now once again expanding. I believe they're around $4 trillion in debt. And as the Fed is buying $60 billion of treasury bills, pumping in hundreds of billions of dollars into the banking system, as we witness this quantitative easing taking place again, ask those same people, if things were so great, how come the Fed continues to jump in here with these artificial injections, jumping in, buying up $60 billion a month, $720 billion a year of treasury bills if everything is okay? The Fed is lying to your face. You know, these people who continue to want to judge us, telling you and I that, you know, we're just paranoid, that that nothing bad's going to happen, that 2008 was just an accident. They fixed it, you know, by putting that Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. Everything's going to be okay. The Federal Reserve, the government, the banking systems, everything is sound. Everything's good. They're not going to let us down. It just can't happen. These people are typically people who are very scared. These are the people who are very uncertain. These are the people who are scared of reality, and the same people who will be taken by surprise because of them being so naive and living their lives in denial. They are going to be taken by surprise because they just didn't want to live in reality. They couldn't open their eyes. They didn't want to listen. They didn't want the party to end. They wanted to stay in their little bubbles. And I have a message for those people. Your little bubbles are going to pop. And when they do, your life is going to be much different than it is now. And for many people living on government subsidies, living on credit cards, these people are living on borrowed time. And if you're one of these people, you better wake up and you better do what you have to do to start getting prepared and stop making excuses. Are not going to save you. Blaming the problem is not going to save you. Yeah, we can blame banks, we can blame the government, we can blame the Federal Reserve, we can blame your neighbor, you can blame whoever you want. But at the end of the day, when it hits, there's no time for blaming. It's about surviving and getting through this. So the blame game is not going to matter. What matters is, are you prepared to deal with this when that day comes? And the answer is most people are not. And these people who continue to want to deny things, these people they are really messing with dynamite here. And if you have kids, my goodness, you are going to feel so helpless when this hits because you did not prepare, and now your kids are going to pay the ultimate price here. We're seeing fraudulent money printing going on. Rates are going to go even lower. So the wealth flow is going to go to a very few, the 0.1%, while the majority are going to get punished because as rates get lower, the people who are saving, the people who are being conservative, trying to be safe, they're going to be punished because they're earning nothing on their money. A company who's being conservative and saving will be punished because these rates are going to zero, and you are not going to be rewarded for saving. What they're trying to do is get you to go gamble. They want to bring you to the poker table, to the stock market, companies, individuals. If you can't save money, you're forced to go into these markets and take risk. And I have a really, really bad feeling of what's going to happen to so many people. Central banks cannot print prosperity forever. They can redistribute and take purchasing power away from one side and hand it over to another side. 0.1% and corporations are winning. There are few winners in the top 10%, while the bottom 90% are the losers. And that is reality, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to see the biggest wealth transfer the entire world has seen. That 0.1% knows it. And the problem is the bottom 90%, the bottom 97% don't know it. They're completely unprepared for what is coming. So I'm going to wrap it up right here today. Remember this, don't worry what other people think about you. Again, we've all been judged by friends, family, associates, whatever, that you know, this isn't going to happen. We're paranoid. No, we are prepared. Okay. Again, these are the people who are scared of reality, people who don't want to face the fears. They're in denial. Don't live your life like that. You know, I read the comments down below, and as I've said many times, there are so many people out there much smarter than me, and I've learned so much in those comments. And people that I know that read those comments, it just opens their eyes, opens their mind. It makes people think. So thank you so much for being such a great group of people, because you really, really make me think outside of the box. You make my friends think outside of the box. And it's making a lot of people out there think. And a lot of people that write in the comments, you may not know that your ideas and your thoughts are getting to other people, and they're making other people think. People who might not be where we are at, people on the fence, people that have denial. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of your comments have woken people up now, and they're preparing, because not what I said, but because of what you said. So please continue to be commenting down below, because you are opening up the eyes and minds of so many people. I'm just putting a platform out there, but the people in those comments, you people, you're so bright, intelligent, and inspiring. So don't quit, because you are making a huge difference, and you are waking people up every day. I promise you that. So I'm going to leave it right there. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you share this video with everybody. Keep going with the comments. There's so much to learn, and we can't do it without great people like you commenting and sharing your knowledge. God bless every one of you. God bless America. Talk to you very soon. Have a phenomenal week.